Welcome back. We continue now with our conversation with U.S. Congressman Charlie Crist. And our political analyst, Brian Crowley, you had some time speaking with him today as you stepped into our studio. He had this question for you. Your running mate in 2014, Annette Taddeo, is now running against you in this three-way Democratic primary that also includes Nikki Fried. Why is she opposing you now?
I don't know. You'd have to ask her. But I encourage her, as I did Nikki. Anybody has a right to run who wants to, and they should.
Homeowners insurance, hot button topic. He also asked, you've said you'd like to get something done on that. What do you propose, and how soon would you suggest you could get something done in the state?
We need to regulate the insurance industry. It's out of control. The government in Tallahassee has become a lapdog for homeowners insurance companies. It's clear. And I talk to friends each and every day that can't believe how these rates have been allowed to go up. What would I do? Well, I dealt with it before. This was a big issue when I got elected governor the first time. And shortly after I got sworn in as governor, I called a special session to get the rates down. And we got them down 10% for the people of Florida. That's what I will do when I win November the 8th.
How quickly do you think you can get that done?
As soon as I get elected.
Right away.
Right away.
What about...
Well, I got to get sworn in January 1st, yeah.
Here at Channel 5, we've done a deep dive on the issue of affordable housing. This is a crisis by every stretch. What would you do to increase the availability of affordable housing, and certainly keeping in mind the supply chain issue? We can't create supplies.
Well, the problem is that we have a trust fund in Tallahassee called the Sadowski Trust Fund that is dedicated exclusively to helping Floridians get affordable home ownership or rent even. They have taken all that money out, the legislature, the governor. That's wrong. I mean, they're raiding this fund. It's hundreds of millions of dollars and not having it there for our fellow Floridians at a time of need. It is a crisis, I agree with you. But they turn their back on them because they don't have their back. Governor DeSantis does not have their back. Whether it's property insurance, whether it's affordable housing, whether it's your utility bills, they have forgotten consumers. And they're appealing to his hard, right, red meat Republican base for his presidential aspirations. It's wrong. Florida deserves better.
Presuming you do win the party's nomination in this hypothetical matchup between you and Ron DeSantis, compare and contrast how Governor Crist would have managed, let's start with the last 4 years. How would you have managed the state?
I would have protected people. I would have protected consumers. I would have increased the salaries of our teachers. We're the third largest state in the country, and we're 49th in what we pay our teachers. What he's done on the environment is nothing. I mean, when he first got elected, he changed a few water board members, and that was it. And now we have algae blooms and red tide all over the state. Last year...
Respectfully, he has been leaning in, just as of late, with significant legislation in that area.
Like what?
And proposals. The Everglades Restoration Act, backing it and getting support for it.
He got the money from me, from members of Congress. We passed that.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's distributing the funds that he campaigned against.
And he would suggest that the funds were then held up. After you voted for them, then they were held up and didn't filter down to Florida. How do you stand on that?
They were held up in Tallahassee. I'd do everything differently probably than Governor DeSantis, including being nice to you and showing up for reporters and editorial boards like I did this morning at the Palm Beach Post. He won't go there. The people have a right to know, Shannon. It's very important what journalists do. I respect it. He doesn't. He just goes on Fox News. That's it. It's unconscionable.
For those who would see this matchup and they say that, you're someone who has shifted parties.
No, I changed parties.
Changed parties.
My party left me. I didn't change.
Okay, so you changed parties.
It became the Tea Party, and now it metastasized, and now it's Trumpism.
And changed.
I didn't change.
In this interview, you said you changed your mind on hot-button, big policy issues.
I talked about one.
Okay.
And that was the LGBTQ and the right to marry. Okay. Just the same way Barack Obama did. That happens in life if you gain wisdom through it.
So on that issue, when they look at the two candidates, voters of the state of Florida, you don't have to wonder where, to your point, where Governor DeSantis stands. It's very clear.
He's against gay marriage.
Where do you stand?
I'm for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you say, though, when they look at you and say you've changed your mind on several issues, you've changed parties, you've changed your mind? Governor DeSantis, we know where he stands.
Thinking people have the ability to adapt to the times and understand what's happening in society based on history. Sometimes it's recent history. Our country has progressed in many ways. It has on LGBTQ, as have I, as did President Obama, as did President Biden. I think that's important. Somebody who has the kind of, I think, confidence that, says, I may have made a mistake before, but I am confident enough to admit it and change and do what you feel is right in your heart and share it. That's not easy to do, but it's important to have the courage to do it.
So
I do.
When people call you a flip-flopper, you don't think that's fair?
No, I don't know. They can call me whatever they want, and they do. That's okay. I don't have any qualm with that. But what I think is important is that you understand what you believe is right, what you think in your soul is important, and if you felt that you made a mistake in the past, you do what you believe is right at the present, and I'm willing to do that, and I have the courage to do it.
Let's talk about the election cycle in general. Ron DeSantis, well-funded, $100 million in his war chest right now. We had, I think, some wordsmithing over a popular governor, whether he's popular at night. At the moment, right now, polls indicate we have a popular governor in our state. What is it to you? What does it say to you when the DNC is not seemingly spending a lot of money on your campaign or any of the other Democratic candidates in the state of the
I'm in a primary. The DNC is not going to get involved in a Democratic primary. They'll get involved when we have a nominee, and I have their assurance about that.
But respectfully, we're mid-April now. The election season should be well underway. Where are the stump speeches? Where is the campaigning? We're not really seeing those ads rolling out. It seems
there aren't
as
any ads on either side right now. You're right. But our primary is not till the end of August, Shannon, in Florida. After that happens and we have the nominee, that's when you'll see that occur.
Democrats are having trouble registering voters in the state of Florida. Why?
I don't think that we're having trouble. I was just talking to Brian about the fact that our new chairman, Manny Diaz, has dedicated $2.5 million to a registration program. I think you're going to see it pick up. I'm optimistic about it.
How soon?
Yesterday, they're doing it. They started it a month ago.
And so your vision, politics in general, having served time on both sides of the aisle, spent time on both sides, presumably you still have friends on both sides of the aisle, Congressman. The state in general, the state of affairs in politics, your thoughts on that as we close out?
It needs to be better. I am heartbroken about politics today, not only in Florida, but in America. It is so divisive and so argumentative. And I think we need a kinder approach to it. That we need to understand that people deserve mutual respect and decency and kindness and compassion. That's what I'm trying to put across in this campaign. And I think that's a real distinction in this race.
Congressman, we do appreciate your time, and we do thank you for stopping by.
Great to be with you, Shannon. It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure.
We'll be back with more in just a moment.